Greetings, my friends. We're here at the beautiful Parador Hotel here in Santiago de Compostela. Right next door is the incredible cathedral, the burial place of St. James the Apostle. This one that we've been praying for his intercession throughout this whole Camino, and this place where everybody ends their Camino, visiting. Not everybody does it, but that should be our goal, to visit that tomb. Somebody who walked with Jesus, somebody who Jesus washed his feet. He was present at the Last Supper and also saw Jesus alive after the crucifixion. So we're bringing to each of our pilgrims and our takeaways from the Camino. So I've got my great friend and who's been my roommate the last 35 days, Rick Erwin. Rick, what have been your takeaways for the Camino?
So the takeaways that I had are really around four things. One is around being present and being with the person that you're with. And the other three things are things that Father Burke's talked about for many years, and that's scripture, sacraments, and prayer. And the Camino gave me an opportunity to really concentrate on the person that I was walking with and really know and understand their story, and for me to share my story with them. And that's something that we can do no matter where we're at, if we're on the Camino in Spain or if we're on the Camino of life back in Illinois. And then the importance of scripture, prayer, and the sacraments just made our day fulfilling from beginning to end. When we'd start with prayer in the morning before we'd ever hit the trail, to doing morning prayer and then doing the rosary, having mass along the way, and being able to read the scriptures as part of the mass that we would have. And sometimes we would have the mass along the trail, and sometimes, which was very special, was when we were able to do it in a cathedral or one of the churches, and Father was able to celebrate with the local priest. And all those things made the Camino really special. But the thing that for me is the transference of what we were able to do here is what we can do when we're at home. And you don't have to come to Spain to do those things. If we just concentrate on it and make it part of our life, and I think that's my responsibility now, is to take the 30 days of practice, 35 days of practice that we've had, and now turn that into the reality of what life is going to be after this.
Yeah, prayer, scripture, and sacraments, something that we've been talking about with missionary discipleship. One thing you may not know is that Rick and I, our dads were friends, and they actually coached in the same Pony League baseball in Joliet, Illinois, back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
We kind of knew each other, and his younger brother is between my older two brothers, and so it's kind of interesting that we're here, many years later as roommates on this Camino journey. And it's been a real joy to do that with you.
Yes.
Rick was our GPS guy, so what we found is that every one of us on this trip brought their gifts to the table. It's really, to be good disciples, we're called to recognize our giftedness and bring them to the table, and then let them be used in whatever way we can. And every single one of us brought our gifts to the table. And I did mention, Ed, his coordination of all of this. Usually I'm the one in charge of everything, and having to coordinate, I didn't have to do any of that. I could just focus on the spiritual part, and these guys took care of all the rest, which was great. So think about that, what Rick said, as you continue or begin your own Camino journey at home. How am I focusing on prayer, scripture, and sacraments, and being present to the person right in front of me? To you and to all of your family, I wish you a buen Camino.